today. My name is Comfort Eyitayo, the host for Connect with Comfort. On each show, we intend to bring a guest, experts on the topic at hand to shed more insights rather, to the topic that we'll be discussing. I'm glad you're able to join us today. In fact, I'm excited that we're going to have a swell time. Before I welcome my guest, we will go for a very short break. Thank you.
We live in a time of unprecedented disruption, in a world of continuous connectivity and shortened attention spans, where people live their lives through their screens and share their experiences with everyone they know. Customers realize that anything is now possible. Their expectations keep growing much faster than businesses can adapt. Buyers put off talking to salespeople for as long as they can. They prefer to educate themselves. Welcome to the age of the customer, when all that truly matters is the quality of the relationship with your customers and whether you've earned a role in their lives. But customer loyalty can no longer be bought. It must be earned by building trust over time. The degree of trust depends entirely on their experience with you, how easy it is to buy from you. In a world of continuous connectivity and shortened attention spans, where people live their lives through their screens and share their experiences with everyone they know, customers realize that anything is now possible. Their expectations keep growing much faster than businesses can adapt. Buyers put off talking to salespeople for as long as they can. They prefer to educate themselves. Welcome to the age of the customer, when all that truly matters is the quality of the relationship with your customers and whether you've earned a role in their lives. But customer loyalty can no longer be bought. It must be earned by building trust over time. The degree of trust depends entirely on their experience with you, how easy it is to buy from you, to interact with you, to be serviced by you. And equally important, whether customers believe you put their needs first. Instead of simply trying to reach people, you must reach out to them, inspiring more than persuading, sharing more than selling, earning attention more than buying it. If the defining story of the early 21st century has been free and now, the story going forward will be help me now. Help that arrives on time, in the context of the moment, based on who the customer is and what they're looking to do. Creating a more meaningful relationship begins with connecting your brand's purpose to people's lives. It means giving up the chase and acknowledging that the customer is now in control. The payoff? More loyal customers willing to buy more often.
Thank you. You're welcome back. Perhaps I should repeat my welcome to all of you because I discovered that I was muted when I spoke earlier. You are welcome to this show. I'm your regular host, Comfort Eyitayo, that this host to connect with comfort. And I'm glad you're able to join us today. And like I said earlier, this program is committed to adding value to people on business enterprise and personal growth. Today we have a guest in the house who will also be shedding more light to the topic. The crucial topic we have on hand today is building business that customers want. As you can see from the video that just played, we need to build business that customers want, not just building business. And today we will explore the key elements of identifying and understanding customers' needs, developing products and services that meet those needs, and creating a customer-centric culture within our various organizations. By the end of this session, you will have a better understanding of how to build a successful business that truly serves the needs of your customer. Today with me, we have a distinguished guest with us who is an expert in the subject matter by name Dimeji Falana. Dimeji, you are welcome, but before I leave the floor to you, let me say a bit about our guest today. Dimeji Falana is a techpreneur, chief executive officer and co-founder of EDVES. EDVES is a transnational enterprise with presence in 10 countries across Africa. Dimeji Falana is a business advisor and a highly sought after speaker across the education, technology, and business space. His expertise and experience stands him out in his field. Please join me in welcoming Dimeji Falana, our guest today. Dimeji, you are welcome.
Yes, thank you very much. Good afternoon, ma. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you for honoring our invitation. We're glad to have you. Without much ado, we should go straight to the topic of today. And I'm going to start with this question to you, Dimeji. What are the key factors to consider when we are identifying a customer's need or problem to solve?
Thank you, ma. So I will start with this. It is important to define who is the target customer all the time, because revalidating the definition of who are we serving periodically brings to perspective to what are their problems that we can solve. There is no business enterprise that's set up that wants to serve everybody. No. So it has to be, first step is to define who is the market, who is the customer. And then this can be done by interacting with them physically and even, if possible, online. Even the tech companies, the big companies of the world, they go on the streets to go and engage, not to get survey, but to do customer interview, to know what are the pains of the customers. And also the second point I will say is that knowing the behaviors of customer, knowing what is influencing the customer in a certain way, will be able to show to a company that these are the challenges and they are willing to solve it. Because another thing about knowing the problem of the customer is that not every problem that we see in the life of a customer that a customer wants to solve. So we have to know which one are they willing to solve and which one are they willing to pay for if they get a solution.
Okay,
Thank you.
that is very true and very correct. We need to know our customer, basically. And perhaps not thinking that we'll be able to solve all their problems, but at least the problem that we were able to solve, we'll be able to get it from when we go there. That's good. Then how can a business effectively gather customer feedback to inform the product or services development?
Yes, I've seen a lot of companies do survey, they set up a form and then they get feedback on products, but we can't compare that to interviewing a typical customer. And for us, what we've done in the past is that myself and my co-founder, we've actually gone to schools to sit down with the teachers, sit down in the classroom. I've attended PTA meetings because our company is building a software for schools. And we get feedback by going intensive about it to really get strong, because there's a way you can actually get people to feel a survey. If they're in a good mood, they say everything is fine. If they're not in a good mood, they say everything is wrong. But when you visit, you can actually know what is going on. And also
You can
another
also
thing
note their
is
body language.
exactly. Another thing is understanding the wow moment of the customer. There's something they call wow moments. When you sign up on a platform and then the platform just gives you exactly what you need or something beyond your expectation, you'll be like, wow, this is good. We need to know, and it is by paying attention to them to get those feedback. And there might be a need for us to recruit people that will go into the market for us to go and engage the
And
people physically and bring back not just only the survey, but this kind of high level feedback. And some might even come in form of
interaction.
insults. Yeah, insults is a feedback, and you'll be able to go into the into the drawing board and start improving stuff. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Basically, we need to interact more with our would-be customers once we've been able to identify them. Now, what strategies can a business use to differentiate it from competitors? I mean, differentiate their business from that of competitors to attract more customers. That is to
Yes,
gain
so
the market edge.
yes, the brain of human being recognize pattern and differences and uniqueness. That is why when you see the kids in the primary, maybe age 4, age 5, age 3, when you give them the cartoon to watch, after some time, the character, they get used to the character and they are thinking of something else. When they see another cartoon, they glue to it, they glue to it. And that is the same thing with even we that were grown up. There is always a need in the mind for something new, something unique, something special to always come our way. And that is why it is important for every company to discover competitive advantage. And competitive advantage is locked in comparative advantage. Let me break it down. Comparative advantage is about the unique processes, the know how, the special intellectual property, the high-end discoveries that an organization has discovered that has formed an internal resources to now produce service better than competitors and produce products better than competitor. So every company needs to go to that extent where competitors are not going. And that is where every company can discover what is unique about them and then how they want to address the market. And when the customer compare, they will say, truly, these people, they are different from others.
Thank you very much. So how can a business ensure it is delivering a consistently high quality experience for customers?
Yes, so
The key
on
word
the
here is
on
consistency.
yes, exactly. I mean, I really love this question because I think I took more time even in preparing this particular response to this. This is this is more on quality. Everybody, anybody that can pay for a service or anybody that can get a service for free will always expect quality at all time. So it is important that every business decide and develop research on what we call total quality management, which is still KIHM, and it has to be in line with the service and product. E.g., for instance, this is what I'm saying. An automobile company can decide to say, okay, because we noticed that people love to sit more in their vehicles, maybe in America or in Nigeria, we want to build the most efficient and the most beautiful vehicle dashboard that can compete globally. And then they decide to go into it, they deepen their research into it, and then they get to the depth that nobody is getting into. And then from there, they continue to deliver that quality that is even too high for the competitors to come and compete with. And also hiring the talent that will go after what has been discovered. Because hiring for a company should be in line with We have hired you to come and continually give the best experience to our clients. And it has to be that you are hiring people to come and do what you have discovered better and better and better and better all the time. And creating a metric, because there is no progress without a metric. Creating a metric that can get strong customer feedback if the quality experience is being served.
Thank you very much. What are some best practices for building a loyal customer base and fostering long-term customer relationship?
This is all about care. It's about showing care to the customer. And I have a particular research that I want to share in just maybe 20 seconds. You know, the days where the phone call technology used to be on switch, that you will call and somebody, a switch manager, will go there and switch you to whoever you want to talk to long ago. That time, there was a particular research that was carried out. They realized that most of the time when the people are talking, hello, how are you? Most the switch manager usually hear the conversation of the people at some time. But the statement that people make within that time, they realize that there is a particular word that is that is common in most of the conversation of people. And that word is high. High. It means that people pay attention to themselves. They love their money, they love their family, they love their property, they love their social status. And if a company can pay attention to self, they believe that they can foster long-term customer relationship with customer. And then there's a saying in Rolex on an advertisement, which is the second point I want to say. Rolex speak to the aspiration of their customers. They say time is the only thing between me and the throne. So they get the customer to aspire to the level even where they are not. And that is how to get people to be inspired toward the brand and win their loyalty.
Thank you very much. Before we go on, we'll just go on a short break and we'll be right back. Please stay connected.
Thank you.
I wanted to give up. I'm done with all the things I'm going through. I'm trying to keep my head up. I try to win, but every time I lose. Should be getting better. I try, but I don't know what to do. Hope this ain't forever. I just wanna make a breakthrough, but something inside said never give up. All of these setbacks are major setups. If I keep on fighting, if I keep on trying, if I aim for the sky, one day things will go my way. One day things will go my way. One day things will go my way. I've gotta hang in there. Deep down I know one day things will change. I can't live in fear. I know I've got to push through the pain. I've gotta believe in myself. Yeah. If it's not me, then no one else will. But something inside said never give up. All of these setbacks are major setups. If I keep on fighting, if I keep on trying, if I aim for the sky, one day things will go my way. One day things will go my way.
You're welcome back. And before we go to the next set of questions, I think one of our online audience have a question for Dimeji. The question goes thus: different customers ask for a lot of things. How do you know which of the many things to implement, especially what they are ready to pay for?
Okay, this is a bit not straightforward, but the way around it is to look at who are we serving. The person that is asking for this particular thing, and do they look like 70% of the other customers that we have? Then, if they look like them, then how many of these 70% will request for what they have asked? If there are three things on the table, there is always one thing that will be able to address the majority of the customer, even if they are not asking for it now. And that is what we should do first. And that is how to rank it. So, which feature, which service, or which proposition or anything we want to bring to table can serve more customers that have not even asked for it today, then that is what we should prioritize and move forward. Not everything that the customer is asking for we can do, because there are some certain things that customer will ask for that is only peculiar to them, and you won't be able to resell it to another customer. So it will be like you've invested money, but you won't be able to get much return. But you should focus more on what you can do for one customer that will be applicable to other people in majority.
Thank you, Dimeji. I think it also speaks to what you said earlier on, that like know your customer, engage with your customer. By the time you engage with the customer and you have that one-on-one interaction if possible, then you'll be able to know what they are willing to pay for. I think that really speaks to that. Okay, thank you. Keep the question coming. We have this set of questions before we go to the general question time for the audience. How do we build a customer-centric culture within the organization?
So, on the customer centric culture, it is important to look at things from the unit level, and different departments and different units makes department, and different department makes the company, even if we have different branches across the globe. But it is always good for every unit of an organization to have a weekly progressive metric on how what they have done in a week has served the client. For instance, someone that is loading cash into the ATM machine in a bank should be able to keep a track of how many people have we served successfully this week. Someone that is a software developer should be able to know that if I release this particular feature of a software, then how many people have I served this week? So that is how to bring the mentality of customer centric into the mind of everybody. Every department, every unit of an organization should track what they are doing to make the life of the customer easy on weekly basis. And why did I say weekly? 1 month is too long. A week is 10% of a quarter, and there are so much you can do between Monday and Friday. That is why it has to be kept and it has to be progressive, so that when it's going up, when it's coming down, when it's not improving, we'll be able to have the right question. And that is how to build the entire organization focusing on customer.
Thank you very much. And perhaps just adding a little bit to that, when you track, you'll be able to also know the feedback that make you to correct your errors. Like the example you gave, the person loading the ATM machine, if there have been lots of complaints during the week of swallowed card or funds not discharged appropriately, correctly,
Exactly.
in some banks
Mhm.
now, some people say, or ATM, I will say, they say you go there to collect 10,000, if you only discharge 9,000, and at the end of the day,
Absolutely.
you probably think it will cost you a lot of money more than the 1,000 difference to go back and complain, and then you leave it. You need to know if that is deliberately done or there's fault somewhere. So that's in a way also serving your customer base. Thank you. Then we can also look at how can a business measure the success of its customer-centric approach and make adjustments as needed. I think that alluded to what I just said.
Yes, it's in line. In fact, it's very, very in line because most time when we look at tracking, we want to track something we are doing good so that it can continue. But in this case, I also want to add that we should be able to track something that we are not doing well so that we can track how it must go down. For instance, e.g., a bank can say, okay, a positive thing we want to continue to track is we want to configure our ATM machine in a way that if there are 5 people in a queue that wants to withdraw money from our machine, that machine should be able to respond to them within 10 minutes. And we want to make sure we are at that level by Q1 2023. That is a positive thing to track, and you want to improve to that. Then the negative one is that they can say we want to reduce daily customer complaint on bank to bank transfer. I transfer money, is not getting to where it's supposed to be, and I've been debited. If today we have 1,000 of it on daily basis, we want to reduce it to 300 before the end of the first quarter. And that is a negative thing you want to reduce. And then the first one is the positive thing you want to increase. Thank you.
Thank you very much. How can a business stay ahead of changing customer needs and preferences over time?
Please, I didn't get the question, ma.
Okay, I'll come back to that. It's like an audience is asking, customers like your product, but they tell you another competitor has similar product and is offering it at a lower price. How should how should one handle this, especially as this is a new entrant to the market?
So I want to believe that 3 things are wrong. Number one, not understanding the new entrants coming into the market. We need to know who are the competitors that are joining the market and what are they bringing on board. If you have 15 things and they are coming with 20 things at a cheaper price, then you better know before they go and address the customers. Then the second one is the communication. Maybe the communication with the client is not so detailed enough that maybe the client is not even aware of some certain values that you have that is bigger than what the competitors wants to give. Then the third one is being able to stay ahead of competition, because there are always people that wants to come in with similar product, but building something that nobody can build, going the route that nobody can go, research, innovation that people are not already thinking about, then it will help you to stay ahead of it. And if a customer is clear on the value you are bringing to the table and you are serving the right customer, believe me, they will buy your solution. It's only if they are not among your customers, then that is when they can go for a cheaper product with a lesser value. It means they are not part of your client in the first place.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll go back to the question I asked before. How can a business measure the success of its no, not that one. How can a business stay ahead of changing customers' needs and preferences over time? Like the need of the customer is changing, so are their preferences over time. How do you stay ahead?
Yes, so staying ahead of what the changing needs of customer is very important, because change is the only thing that is constant. A customer that is happy in 2022 might not be happy in 2023, because that customer has been exposed to new things. That customer income maybe might have been affected by inflation. That customers might have been influenced by other things. But paying attention to behavior of customer and creating strategy to discover them quickly and respond in a proactive manner. That is why the CEOs of companies should go into the market to go and see what is going on, so that marketing managers and all the key people gathering all these ideas together and using it to think, paying attention to data is key. For us at EDVES, we have seen the need of integrating GPT an AI solution that is raveling across the world now into our solution. And we realize that the teachers love them because we have seen a lot of teachers talking about it. We have integrated into EDVES. And by February, schools, parents, and teachers, you will start using the chat GTP on EDVES. That is one of those things. Being quick to know what people are looking for and being swift to quickly providing it, and also constantly getting close to the customer will always pay off, because you will not even know how the behavior is changing if you are not close to them, if you are not talking to them. So it is important to know the purchase decisions of customers and to know the income size. Is it shrinking? Is it reducing? And these are the data that one can put together to plan and to forecast the need of the future.
Thank you very much. We have another question from our online audience. Samuel asks, it is always said that customer is a king. However, another school of thought from Harvard will find that employee is the king. How do we balance this?
Yes, so even in ethics, in strategic management, in human resource management generally, I have a school of thought. Customer is a king, I agree, but an employee is employees are the important set of people in an organization, not the technology, not the research, not the capital, but the employees. Because the customers are king, but the employees are so important because they are the one that can make customer happy today, happy tomorrow, and continually be happy. And a bad product and a bad company can be changed by an employee. So that is why it is important that we create a balance to ensure that the employee's satisfaction is placed side by side with the company's objective to serve the customer. That is why the likes of Google and Co, they have very fantastic employee management structure that I think even one of them, that if they lose an employee, if an employee dies, maybe the family is going to get some certain money for some time or something. So those are the things that we can do to make employee to be satisfied, because it is when they are satisfied that they can serve the king very well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Happy employee result to more growth. And they can actually undermine whatever strategy you have. I agree with that. There's another question from Chioma. Customer is king and employee are very important in businesses. I guess it's just rubber stamping what you have said. You said VIP, because employees are VIP. I read it as a very important people. I agree with you, Chioma. Okay, our next question is, how do we balance customers' expectation with companies' goals?
So,
on one hand,
looking
customer
at
is expecting something.
yes,
Yeah.
this is still a bit in line, but in the side of customer expectation with companies' goals. So it's about revisiting the business model. Every business can be summarized into one document called business model canvas. I don't know how big your business is. It can be summarized into business model canvas. And you have to pay attention to how you are acquiring and serving the customers, the costs of acquiring and serving the customers to the level you want, and the price that you are charging for your product and service. That is the value you are getting in return. And this is my school of thought. It is good to plan how to capture value for the organization, how to get return on investment, but give first, give to the market first, make the customers happy first, then capture the value that you have designed. Giving first, we make that customer to go any length. when it comes to giving you back the return on investment.
Okay, thank you very much. I think at this point, before we open the floor for the online audience, we'll go on a short break, and then when we come back, we'll take more questions from our guests online.
Okay.
Please remain connected. We'll be right back. You are welcome back. At this point in time, I would like to acknowledge the presence of all our audience online and welcome more questions. We have some questions before which the guests have attended to. Do you have more questions? Technical, do you have more questions? Or everybody understand what you're saying?
It is important to get questions and comments from people. Yes.
Yes, at least that's the feedback to know if we're communicating. Well, some people have actually asked questions while the program was on. I was just thinking perhaps we will need, some people may want to give more, but if there's none, let me just go straight to appreciate our guests. We are very grateful to you, Dimeji Falana, for making time out of your busy schedule to be with us on this show. For honoring our invitation, we say a big thank you to you, and for letting us tap into your intellectual resources regarding this topic. We appreciate you. I'm sure if you have more questions, maybe after the show, because this is also a feature of the show that we can still entertain questions after the show that we need to direct to you. I believe you will accord us the privilege to answer them so that we can send it back to the audience. Now, there's a question before I move on. In this era of dwindling purchasing power of the customer, how do you motivate them to continue to accept your products, notwithstanding the continuous increases in the price of the product? This is a very good question.
So, I think in one of our recent interviews, I asked a similar question. When we were trying to recruit an accountant, and I asked a question around inflation. This is inflation, and there's a need for every company to look back and see what is the most important service we are giving to our clients, what is the most important product we are selling, and then there might be a need to look into working on pricing. There are different strategies to work around pricing. Maybe you might need to bundle some things together. Maybe there might be a need to remove some services. And then maybe if you do 5 things at $1,000, then maybe you might need to say, we do 3.5 at $800, in a sense that the package is still the same, but what you give in that will cost you much has been reduced a little, and then the price is also reduced. There are different ways to work around the pricing to make the customer feel like you have actually reduced your price to fit into the inflation in the space. It is not just easy for you to say you sell something at $1,000 before recession, and there's a recession, there's an inflation, and then you want to hit the market again and continue to behave as if nothing has happened. Every business needs to react to what is happening in the macroeconomic space of the country or the market where you are operating. And pricing and looking at service and looking at product needs a careful thought, and you have to work around it to see maybe you don't have a price that is called light before. Some people will have premium, some people will have gold, platinum, silver. Maybe you might need to create a bronze package or maybe a light gold that will look like you have created something little like a sachet, but the price isn't, it won't be that much, but it creates a sense of, oh, I can actually continue this product, using this product or service at a cheaper rate. So it's just a way of reacting to what is going on in the business space, because the whole world is, I mean, the business space is dynamic. And then everything we do should also be a bit dynamic. And then not to be reactive, but to be proactive also, to have contingency plan. In case if there's a recession, this is what we do. In case if people increase in their buying power, this is what we do. Planning ahead of time and making sure we take the right step at the right time.
Thank you very much, Dimeji. And I also want to thank Mr. Ajayi Smith that brought in that question. It's actually loaded. And it applies to many businesses anyway, even service industry. I'm sure he's thinking from the perspective of an accountant. Now, we have another question from Pastor Dimeji Falana. How do you get your customers to see the value for paying more for your service?
Okay, so when if you want the customer to see the value and pay more for your service, are we considering upselling the customer? So it means that you are introducing a new thing on top of what you are selling so that they can pay more, or we are just saying that, okay, you are paying 1,000 now, and then you have to pay 1,200 for the same service. There is always a need to work around the psychology of the customer. If you give 10 things for 1,000 and you want them to pay more, maybe if you divide that by the number of service you are doing, let's say that is 100 naira. Then if you want them to pay more, can you give them 13 things and then ask for 1,500? So that at the end of the day, the three things you have introduced will look so big, so new, and so important to them, because you know that they can actually pay more. And then you let them know that it won't just be 100 naira for one service, because what we are putting on top of it is so big. And then if you need it, you can go for it. So that is a way to work around pricing. Pricing is a topic on its own, and there are different ways to approach it. But the most important thing is let them have something first. Let them have more first, and then they will be able to give more in return.
Thank you very much. There's another question from Mohammed Ibrahim. How can someone who is not a market-driven person, I believe, be able to convince prospective customer to key into a product of any type?
Well, yeah, this question is just about maybe how can someone that doesn't know how to sell or you don't know how to market, you want to know how to market. I used to be in this situation as far back as 2013. What I learned initially when I was supposed to, step out to engage customer, I paid attention to what are the core needs, what are the important. Even if there are 10 things you are doing for the customer, there are 1 to 3 things that they can't joke with. And I try to master them very well. And I speak from that angle anytime I'm talking to them, and I show them the pricing, because you cannot deny it. When somebody is running a school and then Parents are complaining of report card error. Then the accountant of the school is making mistakes when it comes to defaulter and the banking reconciliation. And then you walk up straight to that kind of a school owner and say there is a software that can help you automate your report and that can help you to do banking reconciliation easily. That you are speaking to the need, and the customer will not deny it. Even if you don't have any sugar-coated mouth, you have already hit a point, and that customer will say, I want to know more. And that is how to go about it.
Thank you very much. Okay, if there's no other question, once again, I want to appreciate our guest. Thank you very much for the great insights you have brought onto this topic. And like I said earlier, please, when we call on you next time, open your doors for us. Thank you very much. We appreciate you.
Thank you for inviting me, ma'am.
Thank you. Dear listeners, as a form of wrap-up, we have been shown so many things that we need to do, but as a form of wrap-up and from knowledge base, I want to just point out certain things that we need to emphasize on this topic. Number one, we need to understand our target market. I think that one came very clearly from the responses given by our guests. We also need to identify and develop a unique value proposition. We should not just be contented doing what others are doing. We must create that uniqueness to our service or product for customers to prefer to deal with us. Then we need to develop a strong product or service that is also speaking to the quality and standard of what we are offering the market. We should create a strong brand. Brand is much more than a name, but it's something that you can liken to a name. It is what speaks out for you out there, and is the totality of who you are and what you represent in terms of product or services. So we must create a strong brand. And we must also continuously gather and act on customers' feedback. This is very, very important. Sometimes we think we are doing the best there is, but by the time you look at the feedback, you know that you are not even scratching the surface, and you quickly review your strategies, and it will only make you better. And even if you are doing well, there's nothing wrong in doing better. So we need to create that avenue to get customers' feedback. We must build and maintain customer relationship. This also came out strong in what we have heard today. It's not just the product or service that will command high respect or high prices. Our relationship with our customers will stand us better even in challenging times, even when you have to increase your price because you have a good relationship, maybe offering other services apart from the product they are paying for. Will count for you, and then will make the customers to stay with you. Let us also focus on customer retention. That is building customer loyalty. And what I said earlier also speak to this. If you have good relationship and your product is or services is of standard, most likely people will stay with what they know, and if there's no complaint, they are not going to be eager to be looking out there for alternative. So it will strengthen loyalty, and you'll be able to retain your customer even in terms of challenges. So we also need to be adaptable, responsive to changes in the market. We talked about being proactive, and we cannot continue to do the same thing the same way and expect different results. Therefore, even if we think this product is at its best in year 2022, we should always look for a way of getting things better to move forward. Even our services how best we can offer the service to customer different ways, being dynamic and not stand still on one point. That is what will help us to keep our edge in the market. We must be aware of the trend changes in the market. So as a form of conclusion, building a business that customer wants involves understanding needs and desires of our customers, constantly striving to meet and exceed the expectation that is those needs and desires. This requires a deep understanding of the target market as well as willingness to adapt and evolve as the market changes. By putting the customers first and constantly seeking feedback and making improvements, we can always build a successful and sustainable business that will stand the test of time. Remember, the customer is always right, and we have learned today, yes, customer is king and they are always right. Even our employees are very important people in the scheme of things. They are also king in a way. So we must listen to them and always be open to new ideas and opportunities. This way, we can build a better business that the customer wants. Once again, I want to appreciate all of you that are able to join us online. Those that were asking us questions and making the show better, we thank you very much for the interest shown. And I will crave your indulgence to please continue to follow us, connect with us for our other program as we bring them. Okay, a question is coming. Maybe you can bring it up again. If our guest is as less, I can make an effort. Okay, Dr. Asain is asking, in the midst of fierce competition, what strategies would you recommend for customer retention? I think a bit of this relates to what we have said before. In the face of fierce competition, how to retain your customer would be that extra mile that you are able to go beyond your competitors. There are some people, for instance, even in accounting fees, permit me to use that, that's my home base. When you offer service, maybe you are an auditor, but you find a need within the organization of your customer that will improve the prospect for that customer, and it's within your purview without having a conflict of interest in the services you are rendering to do, you can offer to do that services. And identifying with other aspects of your clients, we make the relationship to be deeper. You form a bonding relationship, and that way the client or the customer is not going to look away from you in a hurry, and price will not be the point of judgment as to say, oh, this service the one auditor is asking me to pay 500,000, why should I be ready to pay 750,000? Because there are other intrinsic benefits that customer, that client is getting from you. So we need to look at other things that we can do far above our competitors to make sure that we remain the preferred option for our customers. I hope that answers that question, Dr. Asain. Thank you very much for joining us and for showing interest in this show. So please, the announcement we have is that please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Comfort Eyitayo. And once you have subscribed, please turn on the notification button, like it, and share our videos. Stay updated with information about upcoming events, solutions, and offers on my Instagram account, Comfort Eyitayo, as well as my Facebook account at Comfort Eyitayo. I thank you very much for this audience, for the time you have spent to be with us today. Until I come your way again, build a business your customers want and go out there and grow. Thank you very much. God bless you.